wild neighbors, creating a Florida backyard alive with life. Florida's landscapes are never truly quiet. Even the smallest backyard holds a world of hidden movement. Lizards shifting through shrubs, bats sweeping the dusk sky, bees humming between blossoms, and countless creatures relying on the spaces we shape. When we garden with wildlife in mind, we become part of that natural rhythm. This narrative explores how everyday Floridians can support native species, protect fragile habitats, and transform ordinary yards into thriving ecological sanctuaries. By understanding the animals that share our space, from manolas to bats, bees, birds, and the unseen life beneath leaf litter, we can create landscapes that are both beautiful and biologically rich. Florida's native green animals have long been familiar residents in gardens and natural areas, but their daily lives have changed dramatically over the past century. As Cuban brown animals arrived, first as accidental cargo hitchhikers and later through multiple invasion events, the two species began competing intensely for food and shelter. Green animals, once common at ground level, now survive by moving vertically into shrubs and trees whenever brown animals are present. This upward shift allows both species to coexist, though only in places where vegetation provides enough height and structure. Without vertical refuge, green animals often disappear, especially since brown animals reproduce more rapidly and prey on young green animals. Eradication of brown animals is impossible now, but gardeners can still help native animals by planting tall shrubs and trees that offer climbing opportunities. Despite their rivalry, both species benefit the garden by consuming beetles, flies, spiders, roaches, and other small invertebrates. Their presence is a reminder that even small reptiles play meaningful roles in backyard ecosystems. While lizards patrol the foliage, honeybees work tirelessly among the flowers. A single colony may contain up to 60,000 bees, each with a distinct role. Worker bees gather nectar and pollen, drones exist solely to mate with the queen, and the queen ensures the colony's future. Keeping bees is not difficult, but it does require preparation, equipment, and a willingness to learn. New hives should be established in spring, with winter serving as a time for research and planning. Many Floridians turn to local extension offices or programs like the University of Florida Bee College to gain confidence before beginning. For a modest investment, beekeepers enjoy improved pollination throughout their gardens and the reward of local honey, one of Florida's sweetest natural gifts. Honey itself reflects the diversity of Florida's landscapes. Its color and flavor depend entirely on the flowers bees visit. Orange blossom honey is pale and delicately scented, with a whisper of citrus. Tupelo honey, produced only in the Panhandle, is rich and heavy, prized for its smooth sweetness. South Florida offers mango, palmetto, sea grape, and mangrove honey, each capturing the essence of its native habitat. These varieties remind us that supporting pollinators enriches not only the environment but also our own tables. As daylight fades, another group of essential wildlife emerges. Bats, often misunderstood, are among Florida's most valuable insect predators. A single bat can consume thousands of insects in one night, yet their populations continue to decline due to habitat loss. Installing a bat house is one of the simplest ways homeowners can help. Placement is crucial. Bat houses should be mounted 12 to 15 feet high on a pole, preferably along a forest edge and away from bright lights or heavy human activity. Larger houses with multiple chambers provide better temperature regulation, offering interior spaces between 80 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Ideal for roosting. Color also matters. Darker shades suit North Florida's cooler conditions, while lighter colors help prevent overheating in South Florida's intense sun. Winter is the best time to install bat houses, as bats search for new roosts in early spring. Over time, a well-placed house may shelter dozens or even hundreds of bats, contributing significantly to local insect control. Bats are not the only creatures that rely on human landscapes for shelter. Dead wood, often removed for aesthetic reasons, is one of the most valuable resources for wildlife. Standing dead trees, known as snags, provide cavities used by woodpeckers, chickadees, titmice, bluebirds, kestrels, owls, and even ducks like wood ducks and black-bellied whistling ducks. Many bat species also roost in tree cavities, including tricolored bats, southeastern myotis, Raffenesc big-eared bats, big brown bats, evening bats, and others. Even the endangered Florida bonneted bat has been known to use tree cavities. Small mammals such as flying squirrels, raccoons, and occasionally opossums also take advantage of these natural shelters. Snags offer more than cavities. They provide peeling bark for amphibians and bats to hide beneath, bare branches for raptors to perch on, and decaying wood that supports insects and fungi, which in turn feed birds and mammals. When a tree dies, leaving it standing, if safe, can support an entire community of wildlife. Logs and brush piles extend these benefits across the ground layer. A brush pile made from branches and twigs offers cool, shaded refuge for amphibians, reptiles, and small mammals, while upper layers provide perches and nesting sites for songbirds. As the pile decays, insects move in, attracting insect-eating wildlife and eventually larger predators such as owls, hawks, foxes, and coyotes. Logs host fungi, beetles, termites, ants, worms, and snails, all of which become food for salamanders, snakes, birds, and small mammals. Even though providing logs does not guarantee visits from larger animals, the ecological value remains significant. Supporting wildlife also means designing landscapes with layered structure. Natural ecosystems contain vertical layers, from mulch to canopy, that offer food, shelter, and nesting sites. Gardeners can mimic these layers by retaining leaf litter, planting herbaceous ground covers, adding shrubs, and incorporating understory and canopy trees. Mulch and leaf litter host insects that feed toads, lizards, turtles, birds, and small mammals. Herbaceous plants such as ferns, wildflowers, vines, grasses, and sedges create protective cover. Shrubs provide nesting sites and food, while understory trees add height and complexity. Mature canopy trees complete the structure, offering shade, nesting cavities, and perches. Grouping plants in clusters rather than rows increases depth and cover, while islands of vegetation create safe stepping stones for wildlife moving across open spaces. Reducing turf grass and replacing it with native ground covers not only supports biodiversity but also reduces maintenance. Water is another essential element. While wildlife often relies on dew, puddles, and moisture from food, clean, accessible water can be scarce during dry periods. Bird baths, placed where predators cannot easily ambush visitors, offer drinking and bathing opportunities. Textured bottoms, shallow slopes, and regular cleaning help keep birds safe and healthy. Butterflies require a different approach. They cannot drink from standing water and instead gather at damp sand or mud. A simple butterfly watering station made from a buried container filled with sand and topped with rocks provides the moisture they need. Garden ponds attract turtles, frogs, birds, snakes, lizards, and raccoons, especially when surrounded by vegetation and planted with aquatic species. Even small ponds or tubs can become lively wildlife hubs. Winter brings its own opportunities for supporting wildlife. Many plants appear brown or dormant, tempting gardeners to prune them back. Yet dead stems, seed heads, and fallen leaves provide critical habitat for overwintering insects, including moths, butterflies, spiders, and small carpenter bees. Hollow stems serve as nesting chambers, and leaf litter shelters eggs, caterpillars, chrysalises, and countless small creatures. Waiting until late spring to prune allows these insects to emerge safely. When pruning does occur, leaving stems on the ground or adding them to compost continues the cycle of habitat creation. Even small patches of exposed soil support ground nesting bees, which create tiny sandy mounds with central holes. These solitary bees are gentle and essential pollinators. Logs, snags, brush piles, and rock piles all contribute to winter habitat. Rock piles offer crevices for insects and small animals, especially when paired with nearby wildflowers. Brush piles become hibernation sites for butterflies, shelter for fireflies, nesting habitat for wild bees, and food sources for wood-eating beetles. By embracing natural processes rather than tidying them away, gardeners help wildlife survive the colder months and ensure a vibrant spring. In every season, Florida's wildlife faces challenges from habitat loss and urban development. Yet even small backyard spaces can serve as ecological corridors, offering food, shelter, and safe passage. By layering plants, retaining natural materials, providing water, and welcoming the creatures that arrive, homeowners become stewards of biodiversity. A yard designed with wildlife in mind becomes more than a garden. It becomes a living sanctuary. Florida's wildlife depends on the choices we make in our own landscapes. Every shrub planted, every log left to decay, every bird bath cleaned, and every bat house raised contributes to a larger ecological story. When we garden with intention, we create spaces where anoles thrive, bees flourish, bats find refuge, and countless unseen creatures complete their life cycles. These small acts of stewardship ripple outward, strengthening the natural world around us. By embracing the wild neighbors that share our yards, we cultivate not only healthier ecosystems, but a deeper connection to the land we call home. If you enjoyed learning how to turn your Florida yard into a thriving wildlife haven, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow nature lovers. Your support helps me create more content on gardening, ecology, and sustainable living. Drop your questions or experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're welcoming wildlife into your own backyard. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want, I can adjust tone, length, or pacing to match your exact video style.